Let's get into it. Happy Wednesday. I know I keep saying it, but it's crazy how fast time flies. We already got Thanksgiving next week. So coming into today, there's one thing that I'm noticing pretty much on every single name. And I'm not surprised just because I know a lot of things are waiting for NVIDIA earnings, but one thing I'm noticing on every single name, I'm sure you're seeing it too when I'm teaching you, inside bar day. We haven't done anything. Inside bar day, previous day high, previous day low, dead smack in the middle of the range. So that tells me a lot. We know we're bullish bias. So you want to look for a break and retest over 661, moving higher. But I would love for SPY to just get over the 667 just because we'll be over the previous day high and price would be continuing higher. A bit of a lag here this morning. Same thing here on the Qs. First thing I'm noticing, inside bar day. Previous day high, previous day low, right? We did respect this level during the pre-market, and you can see we kind of just dead smack in the middle of the range. So we haven't swept the previous day high liquidity or the previous day low. So this really can gravitate either way, higher probabilities to the upside. So we'll see. For the sake of Qs, I mean, I would really love for it to get over the 602, just because it'd be outside of the range and over the previous day high. We can expect some continuation all around. Tesla. So I broke down Tesla yesterday, saying a little bit how, it's starting to form a channel here a little bit. This is Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and now we're coming into Wednesday. And you can see we really are just, staying in here majority of the time. We're staying in here majority of the time. So that being said, I'd rather, I wouldn't say I'll necessarily pass on this 410. Something that I would look for is, if we want to pop and sweep this previous day highest liquidity and fell, like something like that, and then fell back under, I'm very open to shorting off this 410 because statistically speaking, whenever price gets above the previous day high and we fall back under, sellers typically push it lower towards the previous day low, which is also unmitigated liquidity. So I'm very open to that. But the only way I would really like to short off of 410 is if we sweep this liquidity. I really want to see that. And like I said, if we get a strong displacement candle to the upside, I'm very open to go long here. You can see we're starting to sit in here. So I'm very comfortable with that. That's a valid shot. There's nothing in this way to the upside. If we can get to that, we can target here, we can target here. So that's a solid shut up. And then same game plan as it was yesterday. I'm very open to this. Why? Because I'm outside of this. Right? We have previous day low, unmitigated liquidity. We could definitely target that. And there's nothing in its way. If we can get, under this 402, we saw the clean downside that we had yesterday. So close watch here. Anything in between 410 and 402, I'm not really fond of. Like I said, the only way I'm going to look to short today off of 410 is if we could sweep this liquidity first and then get a break and retest it up off this 410. So we'll have to wait and see. Nothing here on the video because it has earnings, but just want to show you how I broke this down yesterday. The trend is your friend, the dip is your best friend, right? You don't chase that morning downside. We know we're bullish buyers. Buy, step up, shoot this thing to the top of the range. Beautiful swing trade if that sets up. And then you want to see this thing continue higher. Like I always say, you want to be in a trade down here before we get back up here. So this beautiful market structure here on NVIDIA. Apple, really nothing today on Apple. Like I said, a lot of these names I'm noticing just inside bar day. I'm not too surprised on Apple because we're actually sitting in this channel on the daily. Let me zoom out here. We're sitting in this channel on the daily in between 271 and 267. So not really surprised. For me personally, just waiting for this deeper pullback. Just waiting for this deeper pullback to 264.05 or break and retest over 271.40. So really nothing going on here for me. Like I said, inside bar day, starting off AMD. So I'm I'm hands off on AMD. I'm hands off on AMD. Reason for that being is this would be, I'm not even looking to take a trade off this level. It's because I avoid channels. This is super solid. I looked at that. If that sets up, I have to look at the IV. I'll explain to you why I'm not looking at AMD. This is clearly a key level. So today we come into today looking to take a long off that targeting here. It's a high probability shot because it's off a key level. You're bullish bias. You're trading with the overall time frame. But for me personally, I'll zoom out here. Right, this is a no trade zone for me. That's a no trade zone for me. So I would either be looking long over 242.80 or pull back long off this 225. Now, look at the IV. This thing's at 91. Look at the average IV, low 60s. So I'm not comfortable taking that. If, we get a pullback to this 225, I'll read the IV and see what it looks like. But the IV is high. I just have to pass on it. I'm not taking a trade on that. And then we'll see what Palantir sets up. We'll see. If anything, I might just wait for this break under 163.20. But Tesla, right, going to be on the close watch. And if we can get a short under 402.40. I like it targeting previous day low. That's a valid setup. Obviously, we're not touching this. Really nothing here on Apple. There's nothing here. I'm gonna add it just to keep an eye on it, but no setups for me here unless one of my two alerts go off. Ideally, I really want to pull back long off this 264. And then AMD, not really fond of it. Not really fond of it. The IV is just way too high. It's just way too high. So, if this thing doesn't pull back to 225, I'm pretty much hands off anyway. We'll see. And then Qs. So we'll see. I'll keep an eye on the overall market today. If this thing wants to pull back to 587, I could look for a pullback along there. Or if we can get a break and retest over this 602.85, maybe can look for an intraday scalp there to the upside. Maybe. It's a very tight range, so we'll see. Okay, we got about 3 minutes to market open here. So in conclusion, I would say really my main two watches today is going to be Tesla and QQQ. Tesla and QQQ. If Tesla can fall under 402, I would really like that just because we'll be outside of this channel. That's something I would really like. And then see if we can gravitate towards, previous day low. Kind of the same setup as yesterday. Yesterday we fell under and we did gravitate towards this previous day low. And then we ultimately ended up falling under. We know we're bearish bias. So we'll see. But tech-wise, Tesla's really my main watch. Apple, really nothing. So I'm not even looking to do anything on Apple. I would really love for it to pull back to this 264.05 just because it has a gap fill and this is still a key level we need to retest. And AMD, like I said, really nothing for me here. Nothing for me here. Like this is solid, a break and retest over there, but the IV is so high, it's in a channel. This is the dip buy down here. So if we approach down here, I'll see, what the IV looks like. But even if the IV is high and we fall under 225, I'm not even going to short the same. Like I've already said, 91, it's crazy high. Like I don't want to mess with that. Uh, yeah, so that being said, really just Tesla and QQQ, and I'm more than happy of just having a cash day today. I already had two trades in a row. Not every day the market gives us an A plus setup. And then, like I said, tomorrow is not tomorrow. I'm sorry, today after market close is Nvidia's earnings. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see. Got about 1 minute here on the dot till market open. So pretty big drop here on Apple. We'll see. We'll see. I would love for this thing to really pull back. So we shall see. Big drop here. As we know, I need to deepen a pullback. I mean, we know there's clear divergence here on Apple. We're already back at 267. Crazy. Look at Apple. Bottom to the top of the range. I've said this before, but a little hack that's really helped me is as soon as market opens, I'm also looking at the 15-minute time frame. Remember, the higher the time frame slows everything down. Slows everything down. All right, you're looking at this on the 1 minute, 2 minute. It just looks crazy. I believe this is resistance until we get over it. So Q's is pulling back to this 595. I would love to see buyers kind of step up here. A long way to go, a little bit till AMD is to 225. See, the IVs went up to 94, so it's like I can't even trade that. I would love to see Apple get over this. Apple looks strong. I want to see Qs hold this 595, 85 and push higher. Like I said, right now we're dead smack in the middle of the range, so I think I'm starting to spot some divergence here on Tesla and Qs. Look at Qs on the 15-minute pushing higher. Look at Tesla. It's exactly what I want to see. Yeah, there's definitely divergence here on Tesla and the Qs. Tesla's entire 15-minute candle was straight bearish. Look at QQQ. Okay. That's something I want to see if I have a bearish bias on a stock. Super big wiki candle still here on Tesla, so it's going to be patient. But I want to continue to see divergence. I want to continue to see this thing move lower. Like I said, the only name that we were bearish bias on is Tesla. Tesla anywhere in between 410, 402. Just really a channel. SPY is pushing into 661.80. It's a key resistance level. We can get over that. That would be nice. I think that's actually what's causing a little bit of hesitation here on the Qs to the upside. Super clear divergence here. Look at QQQ. Look at Tesla. Tesla's definitely unlocking. Okay, nice. So SPY is breaking over. Yeah, so SPY and Qs are very bullish. Just clear divergence here on Tesla. That's exactly what we want to see on the market. If these candles continue to look like this on Tesla though, I'm not touching that. Big wicks, big candles equals a lot of risk. Very volatile here on Tesla, so gotta wait for that to clean up a bit. I like Apple over this 267.10, but that'd just me that'd just be me breaking my rule. It's a solid level, but I can't trade that channel. This is beautiful. That's exactly what you want to see here on the SPY. Sorry, on the Qs. Right, if SPY can get over the 66180 and move higher, I like it. If anything, this would just be what's causing Qs to have a little bit of resistance, but I'm looking at a break and retest right now on the 2-minute time frame for SPY. There we go. This is nice. This is exactly what you want to see in the overall market. Still an inside bar day, but you still want to see this thing move up. We're bullish bias on this market. As long as we're above the 653, we are bullish bias. Definitely some relative strength here on the Qs. Like I said, I would love to see Qs get over the 602.85 just because we'll be over the previous day high. So we'll see. This divergence on Tesla, I love to see that. Love to see it. Look at the 15-minute on Qs. Hold on. I'm trying to read this. I'm gonna miss this. Give me one sec. Look at the 15-minute on Qs and then look at the 15-minute on Tesla. Complete opposite. It's exactly what you want to see. And I love the reaction here. We're actually trying to hold this 402.48. I would want to see this first before we actually just rip through it. So love that. Like I said, we're starting to like sit in the channel in between 410, 402. So I would really only want to touch this name under 402. I would only want to touch this under 402. Yeah, AMD is still high. We wouldn't even be looking at AMD anyway. It's literally sitting in between dead smack in the middle of the range. There's really nothing on AMD anyway. Apple's solid. Apple really is solid. Like I could look to take Apple, but I would scale down tremendously in order to trade this. Like maybe 10,000. I feel like if SPY can't hold this 661.80, that's just going to cause Qs to kind of pull back too. It's really the only thing. Clear divergence here on Apple. Market's pulling back right now. Right, market's pulling back. Apple's just moving higher, making a new high today. Apple's a great name right now. It really is. I just really needed a deep enough pullback. Like, bro, look at Apple in the 15-minute time frame. Give me one sec. Look at that. Look at Apple. That is a 15-minute candle. That is crazy. Clear divergence on this name. That is crazy. This 402.40 is really holding. That tells me I did my job. I found a key level. So when I see that, I personally prefer that because that gives me just confidence and conviction to put on risk, right? To put on an actual trade off of this key level. I love to see these reactions. Even here on Apple, right? We pushed out, wish to the damage, body tells the story. We rejected, then we broke above. Now you want to look for a retest. Even Apple's a good setup too, just because I mean it's clear divergence on this name. And we know we're bullish bias. We really don't even like the price action here on Tesla, but that's because now we're starting to sit in the channel in between 410 and 402. Trump is speaking at 9 a.m. So something to be mindful of. Yeah, this thing's still moving up the IV over here. I'm gonna have to play at the money cons if I took Apple. The delta on this is 38. That's terrible. So I have to be at the money. Like you said, this is a channel, so it's like you can't expect clean follow through and continuation in channels. He looks really, really good. Really, really good. If we can get over this pre-market high, that is solid. This is exactly what you want to see on the market. So Apple, right? That's a decent retest if you were looking for that. I guess I don't trade channels, but Apple looks super solid. This is exactly what you want to see on the SPY, right? We ended up breaking good displacement, retested, we held to 66180. Now we're moving high. That's exactly what you want to see on the SPY. This market is still very bullish, very, very bullish. We're above 653. We're bullish bias, so very happy with this market open. Apple pretty much in sync with really with the overall market, but it does have clear divergence. This is a good displacement candle. This is a solid retest. That was a solid retest if you're able to catch that. Like I said, just it's valid to take a trade off this level, but I personally don't want that. If Tesla sets up, I have to see what this price action looks like. There's clear divergence on this name now. Today's Wednesday, so yeah, Apple, solid. Beautiful in the Qs. Love this. Beautiful. Just broke the pre-market high. Yeah, Tesla's my main watch. Just divergence. I didn't take this on Apple because I don't do channels, but Apple looks solid. If Apple can get over if it can get over 271.40, I'm open to it. I understand Apple though, so if I feel like it's very overextended and a little bit exhausted, I might skip that trade. We know we're waiting for clear displacement here on Tesla. I haven't even gotten a candle closure under this 402, so it's 644, so I gotta wait anyway. She just looks really good. Keep in mind, we could just sweep this previous day highs liquidity, fall under, but if this thing can get outside of this channel, outside of the inside bar day, we can really start to see some follow through. Look at Apple, bro. Okay, nice. Look at Qs. Look at Tesla. That's why I'm really watching Tesla right now. I like to set the stop loss pretty much at a 40-cent stop loss. Very tight risk. The way this candle closes everything though. So I need proper displacement on this candle. Well, in case. Super solid on Apple. You took this retest off of this. I've been saying this bottom of the range is very solid. You took that retest, targeting the top of this range. That's a super solid shot. Here's what I mean when I say hold your water. Gotta read the price action there. Gotta read the price action. So great example here, actually, since I just made an educational video on this. We broke under, but on the retest, sellers never stepped in. So if we fall back under this, I'm not looking for a quote unquote reclaim. I will have to look for another break and retest again before I go short on that. Hope that makes sense. If I would have saw a seller step in, try and defend this, right, we got to break, retest, push lower, then maybe. But you can see we never got that. This was our first displacement candle. Sellers never showed that they tried to defend this 402. So if we fall back under this, I'm not looking for a reclaim. I'm looking for another break and retest to set up again. Hope that makes sense. Right, very big on holding the water here. We saw those wicks come up on the top of the frame, but it's gotta be patient. Apple looks good. If you caught Apple, it's only a 20-cent difference. That's a perfect pullback. Nothing on AMD. SPY looks really good. Really, really good. Let me show you SPY. SPY looks solid. Look at the 2 minute. Only one down close candle, which was our first opening candle. SPY looks really, really good. Yeah, I would say SPY and Qs are a little bit in sync. There's no clear divergence between the two. Did really good remaining patient here on Tesla. Avoided a fake out there. Just very patient reading that. Man, Apple was a little frustrating. Look at Apple. Apple pushed all the way down from 264, sitting at 269, and the high day is almost 270. So 3 days in a row, we've pulled back, just not deep enough, not deep enough to 264.05. This was our deepest pullback during pre-market, and look what this thing now, just rocketed to the upside. Very open to taking a shot here on Qs for a quick scalp. I'm very open to that. Very open to that. There's nothing in SPY's way either on the overhead. Today the 19th. Not too bad. The IV's sitting like at 50 flat, 50% flat on the Qs. There's zero, so I'll play at the money. Man, Apple looks really good, bro. Remember I said a while ago, there's no in between on Apple. Either Apple's gonna have a super nice price action day or just a crappy day. There's no in between. We're trending, beautiful pullback here, super solid. You want to wait for clear displacement here on the Qs because this is also the previous day high, right? So we could just sweep this and then reverse. Strong market open. These two 15-minute candles almost covered the entire day of yesterday, so very strong open. We were very bullish in this market. Pullback longs. We took a trade off your Q level today and you played this pullback off this 595.85, right? Very solid. Really good job on execution here, just holding our water on Tesla. I know I'm bearish biased, but I'm not going to force that. Tesla can get over this. We got a little V-shaped recovery going on. Look at Apple. Crazy. Crazy. It's beautiful on Apple. Very happy with this market. Very, very happy. I mean, NVIDIA earnings, the expectations are supposed to be, it's supposed to beat its earnings, so it's forecast. So we'll see. Okay, what does that tell me? Did my job. I found a key level on the dot, getting respected. I love that. If Apple gets over 271.40, I might have to be hands off there just because we're so extended, right? Apple's not a name like Tesla, or you know what I mean? So we're just so extended. Two 246. That's about a 40-cent stop. So let's see. All right, V-shaped recovery here on Tesla. Looks solid. The queue is so extended. I would need like way more displacement on this breakout, to be honest. I wish SPY was sitting around a key level. SPY looks crazy right now. SPY looks absolutely insane. Look at SPY. This thing looks insane. Crazy. Nice. That might be so strong, we may not even get a retest. Crazy V-shaped recovery here. Bullish market. Love to see it. Just being patient. Market hasn't even been open for a full 30 minutes yet, so just being very patient. If Tesla wants to set up over 410, I like that. Only way I take Apple over the 271 is if just the momentum is very strong. Okay, so SPY is now officially over the previous day high. Let's see if it can break over this. All these names look really, really good. Really good. It's breaking out outside of the ranges, which is great. Technically speaking, Apple is still in between the previous day high. So if Apple can get over the 271, looks solid too. We had a beautiful retest here on Apple down here. Right here. Look at that. Beautiful retest there. We still need a retest of this 602.85. I love the confluence here because it's also the previous day high. So I want to see if we can pull back and hold this. Apple looks good. Tesla looks good. If I had to pick, probably Tesla just because the V-shaped recovery. And this is a key level on 410. If we can get a break and retest over that, I like it. I still need Qs to retest this. The bigger the displacement, the better, because if we get this retest now, we have a swing high to target. So that's actually how I'm looking at it. All these names are breaking out of the channel, so we'll see. This is the previous day high here on Apple. Like I said, look at the momentum here. So I may not get this retest on the Qs. I'm not going to force it. Nice. Pretty much a dollar breakout here on Tesla. Crazy V-shaped recovery. Just want to see how this candle closes. And over displacement. So if this candle doesn't close as how I want it to, probably have to wait. See over here as of now, it's really just like a 50-cent, 60-cent breakout. If I take Apple over 271.40, I'm gonna scale down just because this thing seems very exhausted. It's a retest there, solid, but I want to wait for this candle to close, see what happens. Yeah, that was a solid retest. Very aggressive for me to enter that. I'll just rather wait for this candle to close. We'll see. Could be a bull trap. Holding my water. Now, if we fail this level and we reclaim it again, now I have to wait for the break and retest again because buyers never stepped up here showing me that they tried to defend this. Okay, so right, really good there. Hold our water. It's how we avoid fake outs. I'm glad we're seeing this because this is like what I mean when I say, don't be so quick to jump the gun. Hold your water. Be patient. So if we reclaim 410, I'm not looking for a reclaim play. I'm looking for a break and retest again because we never held this, pushed higher, and then reclaimed it. Apple's a little exhausted, so but that's expected, man. I mean, Apple just pushed from 465.50 up to pretty much 271. I'm sorry, 255.50. That's almost a $16 move. Did I read this right? I'm sorry, 265.50. My apologies. 265.50. My apologies. Still a super big move today on Apple. I'm not too quick here to jump the gun and go long here on Tesla. I'm not too quick to do that. Technically, yeah, this is still the retest. I say treat your key levels like mini zones. And we really didn't get a candle closure under that, but that was just straight downside. Like there's no wick on our 410. It's not even that. So I'd rather just be very patient. We got $1.78 breakout. So I'll round that to 80 cent. Q's is gone. Q's is gone. This is exactly what you want to see. I'm very happy about this. Right? Yesterday was a day where everyone panics, and then today is a day where it'll probably be crickets. That's just how it is in the market. That's why, I'd say some of the best advice is blocking out all the noise, staying away from every follower or like just checking what they're doing because it messes with your head. Trust me, I've been there. It really messes with your head. That's why, like, if you apply what I'm teaching you, anytime we have a big bearish day, a big pullback day, if we're bullish biased and we haven't broken structure, none of that should phase you. None of that should phase you. Yeah. Since this momentum is like very strong, I'm even open to trading a scalp. I mean, this is the A plus. I'm very happy about this. I'm very happy. I'm open to taking a scalp on SPY. The trend is your friend, the dip is your best friend. If this thing wants to move higher, I'm not going to be that trader that's looking for a short entry. I'm looking to join the trend. So if it gives me a good setup here on 667.35, I'm very open for a scalp to that. You can see how strong here the Qs is. We pushed all the way up to 605, never got a retest here. Really good today, displaying patience on both our key levels here on Tesla. Really good way to hold our water. We know we're looking for a long over this, possibly even a short, but I'm not going to jump the gun here. I got to see, strong buyers step in, strong sellers step in. Educational video I put on that, how to spot entry confirmations. Today, we're applying that. So everything's a lesson, right? Every day is an opportunity. Every day is a lesson. Let's see. I'm very open. Like, if Qs can give us this pullback, I'm very open to that. Very, very open. Now, I didn't take the short instantly off of 410 because I just felt like I was chasing. Like I was waiting for the pullback to see if we can continue higher and then automatically switch to the short under 410. I felt like that's just chasing a trade. So, like I said, technically we are starting to sit in a channel in between 410 and 402 here on Tesla. And then another reason is I no longer spotted divergence on this name. So if Qs and SPY is trending and we just had a V-shaped recovery on Tesla, context matters. I don't really like that short, right? We just had a crazy V-shaped recovery. It's now in sync with the SPY and the Qs. We spotted divergence earlier at open, so we were more open to take a short. Like these are things that I'm thinking as things go on. So like I said, statistically speaking, if we break through the previous day high and sellers push it back under, normally we push back towards the previous day low, which is also unmitigated liquidity, so price can gravitate towards that. So the way that I'm looking at Tesla right now is it just took out these orders, it swept this liquidity, and now it's reversing. Like I said, under 410, we're bearish biased. That's just how I'm reading it. Beautiful here on Apple. I mean, beautiful trendy day. I've traded Apple long enough to know like this name has no in between. See the in between here on Tesla? Nasty open, and then the price action cleans up V-shaped recovery. Either it's going to be a nasty day on Apple or a beautiful day. And I mean, right, beautiful continuation, pullback, continuation, pullback, continuation, bear flags, bull flag setups to the upside. It's like textbook. Like I said, I'm pretty much hands off now on this name just because we're so extended. We're so extended. Look at SPY. SPY looks solid. Hold on, let me show you what I mean on Apple. Look at the price movement Apple has moved today versus the last 2 days, versus Monday, versus yesterday. Crazy. And we pulled all the way back down to 264, and now we're at the top of the range. You got a beautiful break and retest over 267. I've been telling you guys this is a clean level if you want to take a trade off of it, but I don't trade channels. But it's a high probability shot because you're trading with the overall time frame on a name that's trending. So now, right, if I want to look to go long again, and this is why I didn't short, right? Look at that. So I didn't short. Context matters. Because I'm thinking to myself, we just had a V-shaped recovery. We just ripped through the high day. It's now in sync with the SPY and the Qs. There's no more divergence here. So I'm now more so comfortable just shorting under 40240. This would not be a reclaim play. I would need another good displacement break and retest. Solid day. Sometimes the trend is so strong, you just don't get a retest. Don't get a retest. I'm hands off on Apple. I just hope that makes sense why. I know Apple's a slow mover. It's a grinder on the underlying. We're very extended. So this is not really a trade I want to sit in for an hour and a half. You know what I mean? And then do I think the probabilities of Apple breaking over 271.40 and moving up to 275 all in the same day are high? I do not think the probabilities are high for that. I don't. I do not. So setting up though. Setting up. See this on Tesla? Now we need to see like, okay, solid retest and then a move higher. All right, we can turn 410 into support. It's solid. 410.87. So 87-cent breakout here from that candle. I don't like it. Something I would really like is if Tesla can take out this high day and then retest. If we take out the high day, that means price is likely to continue higher. So see, low day here is 400. I'm just going to keep this an even number. I know Tesla moves on average $15 to $20 in a day. So the low day is 400, the high day is 411. So I'm comfortable going long here because I know we're not overextended on this name. Hope that makes sense. I'm just not liking the displacement in candles up here for long. And see, we're kind of having a tough time. If we can get like a breakthrough this high day and it's some type of pullback, I like it, but just trying to be patient here. I'm not even going to force this. If I don't like the setup, I'm not going to take it. I want to see what this next 2-minute candle does. It was only 87-cent breakout, so I want to see if we can gravitate towards this high day. Overall market is moving very, very well. I'm not trading my P&L here. I was actually up on those contracts like 7%. A lot of sellers sitting here. So solid. Good shot. I was up like 7% on those. I did not want to I was looking for the bigger move, right? I wasn't looking for a scalp into the high day. Probably gonna squeeze out of my position for a loss. Wish to the damage body tells the story. But that's Tesla. Not messing around with those. Let's see. Maybe I did get squeezed out. We'll see. I want to see how this plays out. Solid shot. Yeah, very solid shot. Let's see. Overall market's just pulling back right now too, so very happy with that shot. You guys know I don't trade my P&L. I was looking for the bigger move. It's a lot of resistance here, so I knew if we can get a breakout over that thing a move. We'll see. Uh, Maybe I did get squeezed out for a loss. Thesis is still correct. We're above 410. Thesis is still correct. I kind of see a bull flag setting up here. This thing's just pulling back with the market. Look at the Qs and look at this. Very happy with that shot. 16 on the day. Perfect. I don't even think that was a 10% loss, actually. Give me one sec. I'll check for you. Let's see. Where a lot of traders go wrong is they're like on a streak and then they lose that and then they go on tilt. To me, that's a high probability shot. I would take that 100% again. There's no question about that. I would 100% take that shot again. Yeah, that's perfect. That was a 9% stop loss. That's beautiful. My max stop loss on a trade, like super max, is 20%, but it depends on what am I looking for. I'm just trying to see if I'm getting squeezed out of my position for a loss. Which to the damage body tells the story. We're trying to hold this, but if you see what I'm looking at, right, I want to see the top of 410 turn into support. So for me, that's a high probability shot. Targeting this swing high. So if we fell this, it was a good loss. That was a solid stop loss placement. My stop loss was 9.19% on the dot to be exact. I don't know, I'll show you guys. You guys know me, very transparent. That's a high probability shot for me. I would 100% take that trade again. 9%, perfect shot. Running P&L. Let's see, it probably needs to load more. I was up like 7% on that. Hopefully this can load. We'll see. It's flirting with it. It's just in sync with the market. We kind of got caught in a pullback here on the overall market. I'm just waiting to see if I like got squeezed out. Technically, you can see we're still holding this level. I sold into a very strong momentum push to the downside. I mean, look at that candle. Boxed up aggressively. That was a very strong bearish candle. I'm not messing with that. Right, the deeper the pullback, the tighter the risk. I wanted to wait for that candle to close before I took my long entry. And I did. It was like right here. We got that push into the high day. I knew if we can break through this high day and turn that into support, this thing could really start to trend. V-shaped recovery, over 410, we're bullish bias. The overall market is trending. That's a high probability shot. My goal for every single trade that I take is I want to be able to look back on it in hindsight and say I would 100% take that trade again. Right? That's a good loss. Okay, so what you're seeing here on everything else, give me one sec. Actually, it's holding. Let's see. I'm just very curious. I just want to see if I got squeezed out of my position for a loss and feel this thing higher. You can definitely see how 410 is a key level. There's a lot of fighting going on here. But what I want to show you is I want to show you spot on the dot. Look at that. Rejection on the dot to 667.35. Cannot make that up on the dot. So this little pullback you see here on Qs, that's exactly what you're looking at. Yeah. Let's see. I was a little too quick on the trigger. A little too quick on the trigger. Thesis was correct. I want to see us break through this high today. And another lesson here, right? Don't trade your P&L. It's hard when you like you have to trade your plan, not your P&L. I was instantly up like 7, 8%, but if my profit target did not get hit, which is the high day, I gotta sit in that. You know what I mean? I gotta sit in that. So I don't care about the momentum push. We can see there's a lot of resistance sitting up here. There's a lot of resistance sitting up here. Technically, I should still be in it. I just didn't like this bearish candle to the downside. That was just a very strong rejection. I saw it as, okay, we got this push into the high day, reject. So we'll see. Apple looks good, very extended. So I know that's going to be a slow mover. I'm done for the day anyway. You guys know me. Win or lose, one trade a day, walk away. That is part of my edge. I'm just sitting here just to see if this plays out. I'm very curious. Because now for me, right, this is me collecting data. And then I watch my film and I say, okay, this is what I need to do differently versus not. Solid shot here. Plan my trade, trading my plan. This is right off my pre-market plan. Good displacement. The high day is 411.78. So we got a $1.78 breakout. On the intraday, we haven't moved more than $15, $20. So I know the name is not extended. It's in sync with the overall market. We had a V-shaped recovery. Beautiful analysis all around. Beautiful analysis all around. We broke above, right? We broke above, we failed. So I know I'm not looking for a reclaim. What did I do? I waited for the break. I waited for the retest. I waited for this candle to close, enter the momentum push. Super solid. Very happy with that trade. That was like textbook all around. 8 times out of 10, that's going to work. Today it didn't. Well, actually, we haven't been proven wrong yet. Haven't been proven wrong yet. So we'll see. Like I said, I don't look at my P&L when I trade. So I have no idea, what my stop is going to be whenever I exit that trade, right? All I know is where my stop loss is. I respect my stop loss. I don't hold on and hope that it's going to come back. No, no, no. So that was a beautiful stop loss because we got 9% on the dot. For a name like Tesla, I would say my average stop loss is anywhere between 12 to 13%. 12 to 13. And these contracts held very well because I played one strike price out of the money. So for my constant to go down to negative 9% was super solid. The contracts moved pretty well too because it's pushing to the high day. We were up like maybe 8% peak. It's holding this 410. It really is. It's really trying to hold it. See, this is what's cool about TradeZella. I'll show you this. Give me one sec. What's cool about TradeZella is this, right? So I was up about 1,000 on this trade. Now I don't care about this. This is just like it reading. Remember, as long as you're above your key level, you stay in that trade, your thesis is correct. So I got a solid push like instantly into the high day. But I was looking for the bigger move, the bigger continuation. So I don't care about the quick scout. You know what I mean? Hope that makes sense. Let's see. Looks like I did get squeezed out. We'll see. On the worst candle too. Look at that. On the worst candle. That was like the craziest candle out of all of them. This is a lot of built up intraday liquidity. If we can get a blow off top off this 411.78, this thing could run. This thing could really run. So I should still be in this trade. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But I'm just trying to break it down to you on like how I got squeezed out. This is why you treat your key levels like mini zones. We ended up pushing down to 409. Like if this candle wasn't a strong bearish candle, I probably would have toughed it out, but I did not like that. I push into the high day and then you get a candle like that. Now I'm good. And the overall market's pulling back. So we'll see. So what you're seeing right now is like pretty much a breaking base. Solid breaking base. We're basing above 410. So our thesis is correct as of now. But you can see it's in sync with the Qs. So when Qs pulls back, this thing pulls back. On a technical standpoint, QQQ and SPY has not retested its previous day high and this key level. So it really could just pull back here, retest this, and then continue higher. That's very valid. That could really happen. But you can see SPY and, I'm sorry, Qs and Tesla is definitely in sync. Let's see. I'm done here. I'm just genuinely curious. I want to see how this plays out. Solid day. Today was a W in my book. Plan my trade, traded my plan, good analysis. Good way to read the market, good way to hold our water. We prevented getting faked out down here. We prevented getting faked out up here. We didn't chase the short under 410. Waited for the other break and retest. We got to push into the high day. Super solid day. Just being able to like see the divergence early in the morning between these two and then spotting the divergence. V-shaped recovery, that's more than 50% retracement. I'm not looking to short this thing. So solid day. Once again, lost 1600 on the day. Very transparent. Very, very transparent. So that's the P&L on the day. Good risk management, 9% stop loss. I'm very happy with today's performance. Yeah. I just want to see if this thing will break through the high day. Because if it did, then I pretty much did get squeezed out of my position. The market was just tougher than me mentally today if I did. I just saw that bearish candle. I mean, you guys saw that candle, a strong bearish candle to the downside when Q's is pulling back, and then we just push into the high day and reject it again. I did not like that. I did not like that, not one bit. Let's see. If this thing can break through 411, that's a big blow off top. If it can break through here, it's a big blow off top. There's a lot of built up liquidity right now on the intraday. So I'm just waiting to see. It can't sit in between these two forever for the rest of the day. So market's been open an hour and 3 minutes now. So it's either going to fail 410 or it's going to break through 411, one or the other. Yeah, I got faked out pretty good. I got faked out pretty good. I can definitely admit that. Thesis is still correct. Thesis is still correct. What I should have done was waited for a candle closure under my zone. But it was just a context in that moment that I was not fond of. So we'll see. Yeah, it got me good. Look at the 5 minute, the candle that I got out on. It got me really good. There's no such thing as a perfect buy and a perfect sell. I remember reading this in some book. I think it was Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. And it's so funny how he breaks down stop losses. And he's like, if you never feel like you get a good stop loss if like you stop out and then the trade goes in your favor, then you're like, see? But then if you stop out and the trade doesn't go in your favor, you're like, I'm very happy about that stop loss. It's all mental. It's all mental. It's all mental. So see, if I was in the trade right now, this candle that we get breaking under, I would have to wait for this candle to actually close. So even though, right, let's say I still lost this trade, even if I was still in it, I still made a mistake. I still made a mistake. I didn't let this candle close. That's my mistake. Okay. And then you kind of have to read this. It's right under our zone. So you would want this to go red to green. Overall market's just pulling back. You can see. See, you would still be in this. Just got to read that. Like I said, Apple's very exhausted. There's no way this thing's moving from 271.40 all the way up to 275 after it just pushed all the way from basically 264. There's no way. The probability of that doing it is very, very low. Okay. Solid trade here on Tesla. I'm very happy with that trade. That's a good shot. Very, very good shot. One and done. Right. This is where a lot of traders go wrong. They revenge trade. They take another shot. My edge is less is more. Why? Because I've been that trader years ago where I take a trade, it's a good loss, but I try and take another trade because I can't accept the loss. And then I wake up tomorrow with a clear head and I have a winning trade. But now I have to trade a couple more days to climb out of the hole that I just dug because I couldn't accept my loss and walk away. How many of you have been there? You win the trade the next day and you look at yesterday and you say, man, I really wish I did not take that second trade, that third trade, because then I would be green on the week. I'll be break even on the week. But now I'm in a hole that I got to climb out of for the rest of the week. How many of us has been there? See what I mean? So this is I'm very able, like, it's easy for me to spot what I did wrong, right? I just got squeezed out here, right? I wouldn't necessarily say I panicked. I'm always calm, but I just didn't wait for this candle to close. I didn't like the context here. The market was pulling back. This was a strong bearish candle to the downside after we just got this push into the high day and then rejected. Break of the candle that broke my key level, depending on how big or small it is, but 8 times out of 10, that's where I draw my zone. at the candle that broke that key level. Okay, so good loss, super solid loss. We tried. I'm happy with that trade. Buyers definitely tried to defend this 410. Solid here. I got to push up into 411.40 for my entry. So solid. It tried. Just a lot of sellers sitting up here. All right, let's go to the 15-minute. Actually, let me go here. I just want to show you what I was looking at. Give me one sec. Show you what I'm looking at. See that? Right here, here, here. Right, we can see we're starting to form. This is like a key level here. This is our key resistance. We know if we're under 410, we're bearish bias. Look at that. Key resistance level. So what I want to see, I want to see this turn into support. We're also over the previous day high. That's a high probability setup. We just broke outside of a channel. Right, we just broke outside of a channel and we're over the previous day high. There's nothing in this way to the upside until here. I would 100% take that trade again. That is a clean setup. So I hope that makes sense. We ended up pulling back, holding our 402, V-shaped recovery. That is what I was looking for. 8 times out of 10, that's going to work. So we took our shot, we respected our stop loss, and we went on about our day. So I would say the overall pullback you're seeing on this market right now is this. So that just this rejection off to 667.35. That's what you're seeing right now on this pullback. Keep in mind, we still need to retest this previous day high. Let's see if buyers can defend that, but solid day. On the dot, just on the dot. And then as soon as I got into this trade, you can just see the overall market started to pull back here. Tesla, I'm sorry, not Tesla. Q's was very strong. I was looking for this retest off to 602.85, but you can see the momentum. I mean, this thing went from 602 up to 606. That is a solid breakout there. Very solid. Let's see. So on average, Qs and SPY moves maybe $5 to $6 to $7 in a day. So, from 595, I'm just keeping this as an even number, up to 606, that's an $11 move in a day on the market. That's a big day. It's a super solid day. Super, super solid day. I'm gonna call it here. Hope you guys were able to learn something today. In my opinion, today was a really good day. I think just displaying patience and like breaking down exactly what I'm looking at. I know I'm short under 402.40, good displacement candle. I just didn't instantly take the short here. I really had to wait, for sellers to show their hands and push this thing lower. They didn't. We avoided that. We avoided that. So that was a fake out we avoided. We know we're bullish bias over this. We got a super solid breakout through the top of the high today. Very happy with this displacement. $1.78 displacement, almost $2. That's solid. We pull back. We never held. I just showed you an educational video on when to play the reclaim versus the break and retest. So since buyers never showed their hands and then we failed, I know once this sets up again, I'm looking for the break and retest again. I did that. I didn't chase this candle. I waited for this candle to close. Buyers to step up, risking right off 410. As I say, the deeper the pullback, the better, because why? The tighter the risk. That's why we had a 9% stop loss. Beautiful. Got to push into the high day. We didn't trade our P&L. We're looking for continuation. We know, even though we're bearish bias under 410, we just had a crazy V-shaped recovery. We just ripped through the high day. This thing is now in sync with the overall market. So I know I'm not looking to short this thing. Like everything sets up, right? We're sitting above the previous day high. We're breaking outside of a channel. I'm just trying to explain to you all the things that go into, okay, this is a high probability shot. So I really hope that makes sense. We saw Apple set up. This is why I say less is more and understand the stocks that you were trading, because I know Apple's not going to move X amount of dollars in a day compared to Tesla. So once we get over 271, I'm not even looking to long this name because we're so extended. We're so exhausted. Like I said, the probabilities are very low for Apple to open up at 265 and push all the way up to 275. That's not happening. There's no way. I'm not saying it's impossible, but the probabilities of that doing so is very low. So if you're able to catch this instant break and retest here, then a solid day. But other than that, this is setting up, right? So hopefully tomorrow, now we can just be outside of this channel and then get a break and retest over 271. That would be solid. Um, yeah, so I hope that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. So today, in my opinion, really solid day. Hope you're able to learn something. So like I just said, what we're seeing here on this SPY, we're just retesting the previous day low. I mean, the previous day high. Textbook, literally textbook. We're just retesting that, right? We broke both of these, broke these key levels. I love the confluence here with Qs because it's the previous day high and a key level. But we broke these and never got a retest. Remember, the retest has to happen. So we can make a new high day, push up to here. We still got to retest this and then move higher. So I think exactly just what you're seeing here on the market. So that's textbook there on SPY. But yeah, I'm gonna call it. I will see you guys tomorrow.